Hello my United Army, this is a comparison video between the Xbox One controller and the Xbox 360 controller. These are the standard controllers for either console, the standard Xbox One, not the Day 1 edition, and the standard Xbox 360. Like the one that's matte black, not the glossy 360. Now, let's talk about the hold and the feel of the controllers. The feel of this controller is very more like more easier to handle, if I should say. It's bigger a bit. The only problem is if you play like this with your two middle fingers, sorry I'm not swearing, but your two middle fingers like on the triggers, and then your two index fingers on the bumpers, then it'll be fine. But if you play like this instead of like this, and your middle fingers are here, then sometimes it's a bit harder to grip because your fingers are gonna be sliding here around these parts, and it's just a bit harder to grip. But yeah, also on this one now, the standard Xbox 360 controller, it does the same thing, but your middle fingers sort of sit here, so it's a bit more better grip and a bit more comfort than this one. And I think that's only because actually of the battery pack, so it leaves like a little part for your fingers to sit in, like right there, because of the battery pack, and it brings it out, leaves a part. But this hasn't got any battery pack, it's just flat, so it's not like, but it's pretty good. Anyway, the buttons, as you can see, they're quite easy to push. On the Xbox 360, the buttons are a bit harder to push, only by a little bit. Also, the analog sticks, much easier on the Xbox One, much more grip, much more easier to play. A bit, so for those gamers that don't want their hands to slip off the analog stick when they're trying to go for like KMs or stuff, high kill streaks or something, the controller is really good for that. So yeah, also the D-pad is much different. As you can see, the D-pad's improved a lot on the Xbox One than it has on the Xbox 360. I didn't really like the D-pad on the Xbox 360. It felt too much like an analog stick. So that if you could see, you could actually like move it around like an analog stick, and the D-pad on here you can't. It just stays still, and you could just click like that. So that's the difference between the D-pads. Tools menu and the show screen menu is much different, considering the ones on the Xbox One feel much better because they're flat, no ridges in, but the ones in the Xbox 360 are rigid, and they're quite, they don't, when you put like, they don't really feel that nice when you like touch them. So but touching these ones right here, they feel nice, and it's much easier like to push in as well. So that's one. Moving on to the LEDs. The LED on this is green, as for everyone who's got Xbox should know that they're green, and the people who have the Xbox One, the LEDs are white. Sometimes they actually turn blue, but that's if your battery's low. So yeah, that's another good feature. Um, Now moving on to the color. The color on the Xbox One controller, as you can see, the difference is more of a matte black sort of color, and turning it down is more sort of the Xbox 360 color right there. Turning it backwards like the bumpers and stuff. That's like a sort of glossy type, and this is just a normal matte black type. This is more of not a matte, just a normal black type, more of a glossy sort of color. I actually like the matte black more, but I don't know why, but I actually just do. It's just a more of what I would play with. Like if I wanted to play in style, I'd rather use a matte black controller than this controller. But other than that, They ain't too different. The analog sticks are harder to move on the Xbox 360 than they are on the Xbox One, which improves for like turning and trying to kill on Call of Duty and like Aussie car games, much easier to turn and stuff. So also the batteries, take standard AA batteries, and you don't actually need a battery pack for this. Also, I'll make another video telling you a little trick that you don't actually need batteries to play with. So I'll make another video that'll be up later today as well. I'm gonna actually get on it as soon as this video is done. So it takes normal AA batteries, and you don't need a battery pack. That's something I actually like, that you don't need a battery pack, because I used to use battery packs for my Xbox 360 quite a lot. So yeah. Here's the Xbox 360, normal AA batteries, but instead it's got the battery pack. So yeah, that's the difference. The inside, see. Anyway, that's the difference between these two controllers. Overall, the Xbox One has had a much big improvement on controllers and how they look and everything. So thank you for watching. As always, stay united.